Oh, hello everyone, and welcome to Abridging the Arc. This is a new series that I'm going to be doing where I review arcs of anime. And today, the first arc we're going to go over is the intro arc, I think is what it's called. Let me make sure that's what this arc is actually called. In Zero Arcs. Intro arc, yep. Okay, I was right. The intro arc to Eden Zero. So, spoiler warning, I will be implementing some aspects of the arcs that might spoil the arc for you. So if you don't want to be spoiled, if you want to read the manga yourself, go ahead and exit out of the video now, because I'm going to be discussing spoilers and some certain plot points. I'm not really going to be delving too much into the plot points of this particular arc because it's not that long. If I believe correctly, the Eden Zero intro arc is only 3 chapters long. So if you're not interested in spoilers, please leave the video now, because I do not want to spoil the manga for you. If you want to continue watching and you're here, welcome to Abridging the Arc, and this is Eden Zero intro arc. So, at the beginning, you meet characters by the name of Rebecca and Happy. Rebecca being a girl, Happy being a cat, and they're in the wonderful world of, I think the world is called Granbull, if I am correct. Granbull Eden Zero. Yeah, Granbull. Okay, cool. I was correct. Okay. Just have to make sure. And just have to make sure that my knowledge is correct on this. And in the midst of this, they meet a guy by the name of Shiki. Well, Shiki is from this world. And this world, in this very first chapter, is inhabited by robots. Animatronics, or so to speak. Well, they're there, they're having a good old time, the robots are being friendly, and so on and so forth. Shiki is wanting Rebecca to be his friend, because apparently he's acting like he doesn't have no friends when all the robots here are his friends. And then things take a turn in this, where the robots start acting really weird. There's this one particular robot that is like, humans are trying to control us, and we cannot be controlled. And the other robots are following suit. They're doing the same thing. They're saying the same thing. They even tie Rebecca up on a pole. Like, witch style. It was very interesting. And Shiki is trying to plead with the robots to say, hey, you guys are my friends. And they're like, no, we don't have friends. And it's kind of sad to see. But when you see, I think it's later in this chapter, what the robots are actually doing, it's not only sad, but it's kind of ingenious that these robots know that Shiki is very special, and they have to get him off this island, or else things are going to go bad, and the ultimate bad guy of this is going to get his hands on him and want to use him for deeds that are not so good. So this first chapter ends with Rebecca, Happy, and Shiki going to space and just looking for another planet to go to. Looking for somewhere they could go to explore, because they seem like adventurers and they want to adventure the world and the planets and the universe and all that. So they leave, and then as they leave, all the robots cease to function. And that moment is very, very, very sad. It did get me a bit upset. Didn't make me cry. This scene did not make me cry. Almost did, but not quite there yet. So, this is the chapter 1 was a good starting point for this arc, I do believe. And I think that's very important when it comes to arcs, is you have to have a starting point that actually legitimately makes sense, because if a starting point doesn't make sense, where is your other arcs going to go? And then in the second arc of well, not second arc, but the second chapter of this arc, they go to, I don't remember the planet or the world that they go to, but I do know Happy is kidnapped in this second chapter. And then you get a little bit more backstory about Rebecca and Happy, how Rebecca found Happy, and Happy was a lonely, well, I think the cat was injured in some way, or maybe the cat was just lonely. Happy was just lonely, and Rebecca offered to be Happy's friend, and Happy was like, yeah, sure, I'll be your friend. And then they were inseparable together. You could not remove Rebecca from Happy. And then at some point, something bad happened to Happy, where Happy had to be turned into, spoiler alert, a robot. Happy is a robot in this. So I do find it very, 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 very interesting that they took that route to make Happy a robot, which confused me. But I liked the twist. I really, really did. I thought the twist was very, very refreshing and very, very good. So that happened. But Happy is kidnapped. And these evil assholes that are wanting to sell Happy, yes, are wanting to sell Happy. And I'm just gonna say it right now, the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reference in this particular chapter is just so freaking beautiful. And if it's not a JoJo's reference, and I'm just looking too much into it, but I just thought the whole Buddha part that is in the manga itself was a reference specifically to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So if it's not, that's just me looking too much into it. So, but I found that reference to be very, very refreshing, very, very good. And Rebecca is very, very good with her happy guns, because that's what I call them. And yes, Happy turns into guns. Super cool. Super amazing. There's this amazing fight. Shiki gets in, and he's just a badass like he was in the I didn't reference the fight in the first chapter because I didn't really find it that much relevant, because I think this fight is a lot better than the last fight. So if you're interested in hearing about that fight, just, or even seeing it, just go read the first chapter. It's there. It's not really nothing special. That's why I didn't talk about it. But this fight, Shiki gets in some good hits, gets in some good moves. What is Shiki's? Shiki Grand Ball. Sorry guys, skill. Okay, so you're gonna see a brief of silence because I was doing some research. Just wanted to make sure what it was called. There's something in his mechanical arm that allows him to do things. I'm just gonna reference this as overdrive. But he can just do amazing things with this mechanical arm. And this mechanical arm allows him to do some fucking crazy shit. So it's just overall crazy. And they of course defeat the bad guys on this specific planet. And then they leave, or they might stay a little bit longer. I think after they got Happy, they decided to hightail it out of there, just because they didn't want anything else to happen. So after this, they go to the Adventurers Guild, and this is where the third chapter takes place, and this is the final chapter of this arc, and this is where things kind of chill down, because it's sort of like a really chill chapter. It's just a chapter where you get to know the characters a bit better. You get to meet new characters. You get to... And there's this one character, she's like, I'm a cube tuber or something. I really don't remember. I know it's this manga's equivalent to YouTube. She's kind of a bitch. I don't like her. Maybe in later chapters I'll go to like her. The commander of the space pirates, or the space commanders, or the space something... She is this manga's equivalent of Urza, I believe. I'm not saying she's going to be exactly like Urza, but she looks like Urza. So, yeah, characters are going to look very alike. Rebecca looks like Lucy. Shiki kind of looks like Natsu, but they're different characters. But the interesting part about this, is that you just get a whole in-depth of each character. Like Rebecca is running this channel with Happy, and she's sort of struggling, but she's not. And then there's the other girl that greets Rebecca right there, and there's like, can we get him registered as an adventurer? And they're like, yeah, sure, we can. And Shiki's running around asking everyone to be his friend, when I hope he'll eventually learn that that's not how you go about that. You can't just walk around and start shaking people's hands. And he is a ray of sunshine. He is a brilliant character. I love his character. And then I'm not gonna go too much into this chapter, because just for reasons, but there's this character referenced as Mother, and Shiki makes a comment that he thinks he's seen her. And everyone just starts laughing at him, and maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. I'll have to read I think the next arc is called Normal Arc. I'll have to read the Normal Arc for everything to make sense and everything. But, there's a reason that the next arc is called the Normal Arc. So stay tuned for that, for the end of the... not now, it's just me talking about the arc in general. Oh, like, how do I word this? How do I word what I'm about to say? No, I'm just gonna go off random. Shiki is a very interesting character. I hope they keep him the way he is, but I hope they broaden his character a bit, make him bigger. I hope they make all the characters bigger, but towards the end of but they eventually do leave. They get on the ship and they go to this planet called Norma. And then the leader of the space pirates comes in, and she is looking for Shiki. Some ungodly reason. We do not know why she's looking for him, but she's looking for him. And I'm sure we'll find more out about that in future arcs and future chapters. I'll find out more about that. But for right now, she's just looking for him for some ungodly reason, and we don't know why at this point. And if it was referenced why, I missed it, because even I miss things in mangas that I might have overlooked. But this has been my rough summary of the intro arc to Eden Zero. Now, what did I think about the arc as a whole? I thought it had a good beginning, good middle, good end. I thought the arc wasn't too long. I do think the arc maybe could have been an extra chapter long, but that's just me being nitpicky. But I do believe this arc was perfectly paced. It's not like a current manga that I'm reading, that I'm going to be doing an arc talk on, being Bleach, where it's 70 chapters long, where the video is going to be freaking like an hour-long video. Because, yeah. But this video is not going to be that long, specifically because there's not that many chapters to this specific arc. So if you was expecting a 20-30 minute video, I'm sorry. I don't want to give a full analysis of the arc. I just want to talk about the arc in general, some aspects about the arc, and what I liked about the arc, and some spoilers. But this arc I felt was perfectly paced. The art was beautiful. It was just long enough for you to enjoy a great arc. It wasn't too long. It wasn't too short. It got to the point. It had its moments where it was kind of sad. It had exciting moments. And it overall was just a good arc. If you guys would like for me to watch the anime and compare it to the arc, I can do that too. Comment in the comment section down below. But this has been Abridging the Arc. This is Emerald Dreams. If you enjoyed this video, hit the bell icon, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and until the next arc talk or Abridging the Arc episode, everyone, I hope you have a wonderful night. Emerald out.